Now at Verizon, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's our best price ever on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees, guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, we got you. Visit your local DC Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
All right, HBCU Legends fans, it's Coyote Mosley of HBCU Legends on SI. We have some great topics that we're going to talk about today. What's going on in the SWAC? The athletic directors are being hit with some legal issues in Texas as well as in Florida. Then we got a lot of goings on for Norfolk State with Michael Vick, as well as the women's basketball program. And we got special announcements about the Band of the Year competition, as well as we have some special information about Norfolk State, Delaware State, and Howard University. They're coming up big with their vice president of athletics over there. So sit back, guys. We're going to talk about Coco Gauff, the queen of Roland-Garros. She did her thing, y'all. So sit back and relax. We got Ralph Cooper coming up in a few minutes, and we'll talk with Coop about what's happening in the SWAC. Okay, we have a lot to go ahead and talk about with some of the Future Stars program that Ralph Cooper has here in the Houston area. One of the ways that we get the funds over to those young people is that we use Cash App. Now, you got to go ahead and download the Cash App today. If you haven't done so, I don't know why. You know, we are Cash App partners, and we earn commission when you sign up for Cash App. So it's very important that you go ahead and do so. You got to use that referral code HBCU KYLE to be able to help us promote what's happening with these young guys. Now, Cash App is safe and it's easy to use. Guys, you just go ahead and click the button, click the amount that you want to be able to receive or transfer either to your friends or your family members. It's just that I just love using the app because if we need to be able to get some important information, like we were able to help kids with Thanksgiving dinners who didn't have dinner at all. So I just sent the money to Coop using our Cash App. It was fast, it was safe, it was secure, and it was just that simple and made life just less stressful. So if you don't have Cash App, go ahead and get it today. If you're about to send money, you don't know what's going on, hey, use Cash App. It's going to be able to pull you out the jam. Trust us. For a limited time, the new Cash App users that you'll be able to sign up with us, use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, this is not a catch. Just download the Cash app today, sign up, use our exclusive referral code of HBCUKYLE in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days and you'll get $10 dropped back into your bank account. And you could be able to send that to whomever you like or support our foundations, especially Coop's Future Stars Foundation. Terms apply. That's money, y'all. So download Cash App today using HBCU KYLE. All right, guys, Kyle T. Mosley. We'll talk a little bit about what's happening out there in the HBCU sports world. It's a lot to go ahead and talk about, but we'll just have Coop come on the line in a few minutes. Before we get to Coop, I just want to kind of go over a couple of things that has really hit us that you guys need to be aware of. Now, let me tell you the impact. A lot of people we talked about the prime impact. We talked about Deion Sanders and what's happening with his two kids, Shedeur Sanders and as well as Shiloh Sanders. Those guys dropped in the draft. We already know this, right? And they dropped because they had a lot of talking heads who were talking against. But if you look at what both of those young men have been able to accomplish, Shedeur Sanders is doing a tremendous job. He's the most efficient, the most effective quarterback right now through the rookie minicamp, as well as the OTAs, and going into the involuntary mini camps for everyone coming up for the Cleveland Browns. Now, down in Tampa, Shiloh Sanders got a lot of praise from Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles really thinks highly of what he has seen thus far with the young defensive back. And you can't go wrong with Shiloh, right? Shiloh, in my opinion, I love Shiloh so much. He's my favorite Sanders. He's honest and straight to the point. But I loved what Todd Bowles had to say. He said his performance in OTAs has been more than just effort. He's smart, vocal, and understands the game. He has been doing a good job from day one. That's straight from Todd Bowles about the newcomer to the Buccaneers, Shiloh Sanders. So, do we think both of those young men have a fair chance of making the roster? That's all you need. Give them the opportunity. And I think you will see that Shiloh as well as Shedeur will be able to crack that 53-man roster by the end of these respective training camps for the Browns as well as the Buccaneers. That's just my opinion on those two guys. Okay, let's talk about Coach Vick. Right now, Coach Vick out in Norfolk State, it was announced that their impact on HBCU has been early and it's been great. You have Norfolk State versus Delaware State. There's going to be a showdown that has been switched from Delaware State Stadium to the stadium where both of those guys were teammates in at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Wow. Now, why is this significant, guys? The NFL knows the impact that Vick as well as Deshaun Jackson will have on HBCU football, but they also have been able to take advantage and market this to their advantage as well. Not only did the NFL take this game to help market, they are switching the MEAC Media Day, Football Media Day, from the usual spot in Baltimore in the hotels to Baltimore Ravens Stadium. Think about that. That's a lot of impact that the NFL has been smart enough to cash in on. Take note, MEAC, SWAC. When you have these type of luminaries and these type of stars, find a way to be able to spotlight, grow your brand by leveraging their star power. Very important that you guys get that taken care of and understand the dynamics there. So kudos to the NFL, kudos to MEAC to make that happen as well. Now, let's talk about Coco Gauff. Guys, if you didn't know, Miss Gauff is now the queen of Roland-Garros, who she was able to extenuate. Now, she was able to extinguish, deflect, dominate, bamboozle, bewilder Sabalenka. Now, she has done it so much. This is her second Grand Slam title. She also beat Sabalenka a couple of seasons ago when she won the U.S. Open. Gauff won the U.S. Open, not Sabalenka. But it was a great match because she fought back from a lot of adversity, especially that early on in the first set, to be able to even things up with Sabalenka, but she eventually fell. Was it 7-6 in the first set? She totally dominated her that second set. Sabalenka just couldn't handle the wind, the conditions. And she just whined and she pouted all through the whole match. It was just nauseating to see, right? But Coco Gauff kept her presence and kept her ability to stay focused to be able to help her win that title. And she really, she went through some early adversity, but she got a 3-0 lead. Then Sabalenka was able to tie it 3-3 in the final set. Then they went back and forth, and eventually Coco Gauff, she won it. Sabalenka threw some shade, though, at the end of the tournament in her post commentary. Wasn't necessary. That's all I would say, guys. It wasn't necessary for her to be able to throw some shade on Coco Gauff about stating that, hey, Gauff, she said, let me get it right, because I just couldn't understand how Sabalenka was being very emotional. She said, somehow magically the balls lands in the court. It felt like a joke, honestly. Like somebody from above was just laughing. Like, let's see if you can handle this. Sabalenka continued saying, I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes. Now, the mistakes she's talking about, she had 70 unforced errors versus Gauff's just 30 unforced errors for the game. Put that in perspective. You're the world #1 player. You're on the grand stage at the French Open. You have 70 errors to the #2 player in the world, Coco Gauff. That's part of the reasons why you left without the hardware. That's one of the reasons why Gauff won $2.9 million. That's some of the reasons why you believe that Gauff should not have won, is because you don't agree that you could lose to her again on the grand stage. Stop it with the shade. And she had to, I guess people called her out enough that she came out with a statement later talking about Gauff. We shouldn't even spend any more time talking about this. We should talk about Gauff, because Gauff was really the main show here. You know, when she said to Sloane Stephens, it was tough. I don't think either of us was playing great, but I knew as soon as I stepped in the court when I felt that it was windy, it was going to be one of those matches. So I was just trying to give myself the best chance to fight every point. And she did. She did what she had to do. But she didn't do it in an unsportsmanlike manner. She kept her emotions to herself, where Sabalenka's emotions was leaking all over the court at Roland-Garros, yelling at her coach, every frustration from missing a shot or having Coco dominate her with a shot. She couldn't handle it. Girl, please. Come on. You're beaten. Stop the whining. That's all we're going to say about that. Congratulations, Coco. And now we go into the Wimbledon season that's coming up. Will Coco have a chance to get a Wimbledon title? Then after that, before Labor Day, around Labor Day time, we're going to talk about the U.S. Open. So there's 2 more chances for Coco Gauff to make history as one of the premier black female tennis players in the world. She's now ranked number 2. She set history by being the 3rd black woman to be able to win the French Open or championship. Althea Gibson was the 1st. Serena Williams was the 2nd. Now Coco Gauff is the 3rd. Congratulations, young lady, who, can't forget this, she supports HBCU tennis. She's putting her money where her mouth is. Earlier this year, through the UNCF, she announced her $100,000 scholarship that she's helping out young African-American tennis players at HBCUs. Also, with the WTA, she's helping out North Carolina Central with their courts. So, congratulations, Coco Gauff. Keep up the great work. You're just 21 years of age, but you're very, very impressive. All right, guys. Let's turn our attention to what's happening in the NBA Finals. Right now, it's split 1-1, where OKC just evened the score against the Indiana Pacers. SGA, the MVP of the league, had a better game than in game 1. Tyrese Halliburton did not have a good game in game 2 for his squad. I think you're going to see much more of what we have seen in game 2 the rest of the series. I would be very surprised to see OKC fall another game and not sweep this out with the next 3 games. I would be surprised, but not remiss or setback to think that it couldn't be done. But SGA, he's the MVP for a reason. That defense is stellar. They had a down game to allow the Pacers to get back and have that miracle comeback. But I'm telling you, don't take your eyes off of OKC. And if you don't keep your focus straight, but if you feel strongly about your picks, you feel strongly about your team, if it's OKC or if it's Indiana, you got to use the best app on the planet. That's the Underdog app. It gives you the best chance to make picks through the playoff basketball series. You got to score buckets. You love scoring cash. You got to use Underdog. Underdog is the leading place to make all your sports picks today. And now you can play in your state. Millions of fans have already done it by winning billions of dollars making picks on underdog. And you could be next. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You could choose from things like points, assists, and much more, rebounds and much more. It's up to you. For me, I love it because I could easily choose SGA and say, I think next game he's going to be over 25 points. So I just hit higher on 25 points. If I believe Shaq could be the one with more than 10 rebounds or under 10 rebounds, I just choose lower if it's under. It's up to you. You control the picks. If you get your picks correct, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So you can turn $1 into $1,000 just with your hoops knowledge. So download the Underdog app today and sign up using the promo code HBCU Legends to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code HBCU Legends. Now, you must be 18 plus or 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska or 19 plus in Colorado for Sun games. 21 plus in Massachusetts as well as Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned about your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8 Hope NY or text Hope NY. Underdog Fantasy is a great app, so go ahead and sign up today, get your first deposit in, and use your Underdog promo code HBCU Legends to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick while in the playoffs. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app where you can on your Google Play Store or through the Apple Store. Do it today. All right, guys, that's important. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com and download that app today. Our special promo code of HBCU Legends is great. A lot of people love it. Have been using it. You can be there to use it and gain that advantage over everybody else using Underdog Fantasy. It's the best. Check it out. All right, guys, I am going to talk a couple of items in football before we bring in Coop. The Black College Football Hall of Fame this weekend inducted 6 new members to the Hall of Fame. And it was a great affair. If you talk to Keisha J. Kelly of Black Sports Insiders as well as the Black College Experience, she said it was just great to have all of those guys in attendance for another year. But you got to appreciate what Doug Williams as well as James Shaq Harris has been able to do. Those are the 2 co-founders of the Black College Football Hall of Fame. The 6 honorees that they had year to this date for the class of 2025, where Steve Weinsch, HBCU grad from Howard University. You know Steve Weinsch from the NFL Network. He was the MC, and he usually is there to be able to support the Black College Football Hall of Fame as well as the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Doug Williams had to say this: what we have with the class of 2025 is an incredible showcase of talent that has come from historical Black colleges and universities over the years. When the Black College Football Hall of Fame was established, its purpose was to do just this: elevating and recognizing the past, present, and the future of Black college football. Congratulations to the class of 2025. And in that class of 2025, you had Henry Dyer from Grambling. You You had Rashawn Mathis of Bethune-Cookman, Jackway Nunley from FAMU, Dominique Rogers Camaraderie from Tennessee State, Jay Skywalker from Howard University. You know, Jay, he and Tiffany each week, they bring you the best stuff on ESPN to ESPN to ESPN. You know, starting to sound like Stephen A. Smith here. But ESPN, where those guys are the tandem that they just do a great job in the booth. And Fred Pop Long, you know, from Wiley, who had all those great teams back in the day. So congratulations to all of you gentlemen, as well as Pop Long, who has passed on, but being able to honor him. Check this out. If you guys don't know about Pop, Wiley College was in the SWAC. He won titles in 23, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 44, 45, 56, and 57. And he won the Black College National Championship title in 28, 32, and 45. 35 seasons, he led Wiley to 189 victories. He coached 27 All-Americans, and his overall 224 games he coached in 43 years. And he also had stops at Paul Quinn as well as Prairie View A&M and Texas College. So congratulations to you guys there. Okay, let's turn our attention to pro football, where Shannon Harris, who took over for Reggie Barlow, who exited the DC Defenders team around a week before they were supposed to kick off the season. Now, Coach Barlow, he took over the Tennessee State University football program. He's bringing on Greg Williams as his defensive coordinator, and broke that story here on HBCU Legends right after he took over the program there. But Shannon Harris, he's poised to be able to hit a historic milestone that not only Reggie Barlow wasn't able to hit, but many others have not been able to be in this position to do so. He could become the first HBCU alum to coach a pro football team to a championship title. Let this sink in. Harris could become the first HBCU alum to coach a professional football team to a championship title on any level. Arena League, USFL, XFL, NFL, European League, anywhere. CFL, anywhere. He's the first HBCU alum to be able to do it. Now, Harris is a product of Tennessee State University, and he's done a great job stepping in when Coach Barlow stepped down. So congratulations to you. We'll be looking out this Saturday when the Defenders take on the Panthers in the 2025 UFL Championship. Now, how did they get there? Well, they got there very dominant fashion, where they were able to defeat the St. Louis Battlehawks in St. Louis in front of their home crowd, 36-16, to win the XFL Conference Championship. So now that the Panthers took care of their business, the Panthers are one of the top teams in the UFL all season long. DC comes in a slight underdog. Can they be able to win? I think they will. So we'll see and check those guys out. The game will be played on ABC, and they will kick off at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Now, let's get to the phones and bring in Ralph Cooper to talk about what's happening with the ADs in the SWAC. All right, guys, it's Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends. I have Ralph Cooper on the phone with me. Coop, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I hope you are also, Kyle, you and your listeners.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Coop, what's going on in the SWAC? And when this time it's not with a coach, it's not with a player, it's not even with the commissioner. It's with the athletic directors. We got two major stories since the last time we spoke. We got Dr. Kevin Granger over at Texas Southern. He's embroiled in some legal issues with a possible sexual harassment claims as well as sexual assault claims against him. And today, Florida A&M's athletic director and VP of athletics, Angela Suggs, was booked for fraud and larceny in Florida pertaining to her last position when she was with the Sports Bureau. What's your immediate thoughts on what has happened, and have you ever seen anything like this in your 56 years of broadcasting?
No, no. And you're always going to have some ups and downs and some things that they maybe shouldn't be doing. But never in a week's time have you had two cases that I can recall where you've had two incidents involving athletic directors in the SWAC or HBCUs, period, back to back, like what we see happening at Florida A&M and at Texas Southern University. And I think the main thing we have to remember, many of the people who are products of these schools, I know they do, they appreciate what I'm about to say. The schools always come first. So you got Texas Southern and Florida A&M in embarrassing situations at this time.
Yeah, very embarrassing situations. When we look at, let's go back to the Florida A&M, then we'll talk more about Dr. Granger because that's close to us. And we know Dr. Granger personally. But, hold on, we lost Coop. Okay, Coop, we're looking at, because Dr. Granger's situation is a little bit different. We know Dr. Granger personally, so we could talk a little bit more about that, but more cautiously about that situation. But when we look at Angela Suggs, who, according to the press release from the Florida Department of Law and Enforcement, they said there's a 1 count of felony grand theft, 1 felony count of scheming to defraud, and 4 misdemeanors resulting in a false claims on travel vouchers. So everything is related to travel. It seems to be, did she book certain trips that were not business trips? Usually that's how people get caught up in these travel situations, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we don't know the extent and the details, but she was able to get herself out on a $13,500 bond at this time. And I got word that she's close to releasing a statement from her attorneys pretty soon about the matter. Right, and look at what's going on with FAMU. A couple of seasons ago, they had compliance issues, couldn't put their team out on the field against North Carolina, remember?
Right.
Then they had issues with the rap guy.
Right.
Then you had issues where the most embarrassing one of all was to have a fake donor who was it $250 million he was granting, and have this person to kind of fraud the whole college and make him the commencement speaker, right? And that was the end of Dr. Robinson's reign at Florida A&M there. And now, then they had this situation with Tiffany Dawn Sykes, the previous athletic director who had contentions with the board on approving contracts for the basketball coach and another coach as well, the football coach as well. So there was, it's like one black eye after another, after another, after another. How do you see this?
Well, I look at it in another way. Who's hiring some of these people also? Who's doing the hiring, and how long have they been in their positions? I'm speaking of the people who actually during the hiring. How
Yeah, that's
long?
the board of trustees for Florida A&M.
Yeah, how long have they been in those positions? And really, what are their qualifications? Um, what type of experience do they have? Are they getting on? Are you giving them on the job training? And in the process, as if so, in the process of giving them on the job training, your university is suffering. And again, I go back. I think the main thing is that the universities should always be out front in regards to making sure you do the right thing. And I think that's what's not happening right now, in my opinion. I think many of them, uh, some people are getting these jobs and they're not qualified, and they don't know what they're doing.
Not only that, they don't know what they're doing. I forgot the before Angela Suggs' situation, they hired the new president, Marva Johnson, to almost $1 million contract.
Right.
Think about this. And we're talking about an institution that was supposedly struggling, and the
Right.
board of trustees, who are mostly GOP appointees, and she has no educational background, to bring this lady into their institution to lead the institution, who never, I think they say she never stepped on the campus of Florida A&M.
Right. And then there's been a lot of talk about the amount of money she's being paid, and that type of thing, or what her real value is in regards to that university. And again, I go back. I think one of the things that has hurt in my opinion, one of the things that's hurting some of the HBCUs these days, they they're hiring incompetent people.
Right.
And I'm not going to just blame that on the. I'm not just going to point the finger at the athletic directors as per se, because if you're heading the program, I'm talking about you're over the whole program. You're the president. You're the person who's over the athletic directors. You should try to put your people in a position where they don't make some of these mistakes. They need to go to more seminars or whatever they have in regards to how to do things the right way in 2025. You cannot be in the dark ages in 2025 running these universities and expect them to stay on par and to be first class again if you've got incompetent people.
Yeah, I agree. Incompetence plus you have ineptness
Right,
as
right,
well, because
right,
there's no power in those. There wasn't a real that interviewing process to be able to get Marva Johnson on board, and overlooking, I think it was 2 or 3 guys who had actual experience in the college itself at a VP level. It was just ridiculous, in my opinion.
right.
Okay, let's turn our attention to what's happening here in Houston. Dr. Granger, we already said that alleged sexual assault, sexual harassment claims have been filed in a lawsuit using Tony Busby's firm. If you guys don't know, Tony Busby is the same attorney that represented over 20 young women against Deshaun Watson. And also, he also represented the young lady that's filing a lawsuit against Shannon Sharp, as well as Jay-Z, as well as P. Diddy. So Tony Busby has been quite active, especially against black men.
Right, and I give Jay Z credit. I think he filed a countersuit or whatever, and I think they've kind of backed off on him to
They
a degree.
dropped it.
But with
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so they dropped it in his case because of his challenge and the people he hired to represent him. He was able to fight that situation that he was facing. Um, uh, in this case at Texas Southern University, the way it's boiling down, it seems to be a he say, she say type thing. You've had only two people involved so far, uh, and allegedly this took place in Dr. Granger's office on the TSU campus. Both people involved part of the Texas Southern University Athletic Department. Granger is 50, right around 50. The young lady is around 30. Her name has not been disclosed, and you know, you're waiting. Granger's name has been slung all over the place in regards to not only him but his wife's. He was a picture of him and his wife was posted on social media. He has a daughter, 18, about to graduate from high school. Two or three sons that have played at Texas Southern University. One a senior on the next Texas Southern University basketball team, and again, he's on a leave of absence. And I understand the young lady has not been back to work since this went down. So I don't know
Mm.
if she has resigned or what, but maybe she went back today. I don't know. But the reports were that last week she was not on the job. Uh, who was wrong and who was right? I don't think we'll really ever know. But you have to wonder, where was the Texas Southern University Human Resources Department? Were they involved in this at all? Did the young lady go to them and try to share with them what had happened? If so, what happened, and how did it end up in Tony Busby's court, and again, in Tony Busby's law office,
Right.
and again, uh, and she's asking for $1 million, if I'm correct.
Yeah. The
And so,
monetary charge, I mean, I guess the relief they call it, right,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
is for 1 million, exceeding $1 million. I think that's how they had it in the legal document.
right.
Um, when I look at this, Coop, and I'm looking at it from a different point of view. Right now, it seems like our black colleges are in chaos.
Yes,
And it's almost like we're giving the critics more food and ammunition to shoot down black colleges and black athletics.
right.
We
Well,
have this NCAA ruling that just came out and was approved by the judge, where Congress sued the NCAA for the name, image, likeness, but it extends a lot further into how colleges are going to pay athletes, but also it could bankrupt smaller colleges. And it's already affecting some colleges, especially FCS level colleges, where they are thinking about shuttering some of their programs. Talk about that.
well, I go back again to the hiring process, and the putting keeping the universities out front. When you're in the case of Texas Southern, when you're changing presidents every 2 or 3 years, you don't have no consistency there, in my opinion. Where in the past you had consistency where the presidents stayed on the job longer, which meant that they got more familiar with how to hire an athletic director who was going to be there with them for a length of time, and a football coach or other coaches in regards to their athletic departments. And I think that's one of the things that's lacking right now. Uh, these schools have made a lot of progress. Uh, the monies may not be fair. There's still some discrepancies in regards to the monies that the HBCUs get compared to their white counterparts. But more money is floating through these schools than ever before. And once again, if you don't have the right people in the right positions with the experience to run in this case, we're talking athletics, to run your athletic department at a high level properly, you're going to have these type of incidents to happen. And I don't know exactly the decision is still out in the case of Dr. Granger and the young lady involved in that particular case with him. But look at the embarrassment it has caused. He's not on the job. We're less than 90 days away from the football season, and you're not on the job because you're on a leave of absence while you're being investigated.
Right.
And so, hey, sad to say, but hopefully at the top, the presidents, they'll do a better job in hiring the presidents, and they'll stay on the job longer.
Yeah. Well, I must say this. Texas Southern immediately gave a statement. It's been hours since the news broke about AD Suggs, and Florida A&M, without a president, because she's not on the job,
Right.
without direction, has not released a statement.
Right. And it makes you wonder who's in charge at Florida A&M.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Who's in charge?
those are just two of the top stories that we have going on that's affecting our athletic programs in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, hot fudge sundae y en la nueva creamy chili McCrispy Strip dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Para pa pa pa.
When Ram won its first Motor Trend Truck of the Year, it was celebrated. But after 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. And now, so does the deal with Employee Pricing Plus. Stop by your local dealer today and take home a Ram truck. Ram, 7-time Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Nothing stops Ram. Offer valid on select 2024 and 2025 Rams for non-FCA employees and retirees. $200 admin fee applies. Not all buyers will qualify. Restrictions apply. Does not apply to leases. See dealer for details. And 6/30/25. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
And hopefully we'll get some resolution, especially with the Texas Southern situation. But in my opinion, and talking to some people in the legal field, this could possibly go on for several months before any resolution is taken care of. And I think also athletic director over at FAMU, this could be several months before they have resolution there. So how will these two programs move forward, Coop?
They're going to move forward at a disadvantage because who's going to be, say for an example, who's going to be arranging the trips? Who steps in at Texas Southern to replace Granger during this period of absence? Who arranges the football trips and expenditures in regards to their football games on the campus or in Houston and on the road? Who's going to pay for all it? Who's going to make sure that the invoices are being written right, and that type of thing? And again, like I stated, we're less than 90 days away from the start of the football season, and you are in a situation like this. And then at Florida A&M, you don't even have a president at this particular time. Maybe, and then you have the young people. Think about how puzzled the young people are who are in these positions on these schools, the student athletes, how puzzled they are, at this time.
Yeah, and guys, think about this. Like Coop said, we're less than 90 days before kickoff of what looks like is going to be a very interesting season for HBCU football. But in Dr. Granger's case, there's no assistant AD other than Kimberly Evans that I see as, we got Stephon Robinson. Could Stephon step in as an interim?
Well, you would think so because he's tenured longer than everyone. Some people feel he should have had a job in that position years ago as an athletic director, if not at Texas Southern, some other place. So he's qualified, but I understand he's not going to be that particular person. And again, who's going to make the decisions? Who's going to arrange the press conferences? And who are the sports information director answer to? Who are the assistant athletic director answer to? Who are the football coach answer to in regards to arranging trips, feeding his team, making sure they're eligible? So who do they go to now if you don't have an athletic director in that position like Kevin Granger?
Exactly. It's going to be very interesting, as well as recruiting efforts still have to be solidified, especially now with the NIL situation, and who's going to be over their compliance and making sure compliance reports accurately to the NCAA. That's another issue that needs to be addressed in Texas Southern as well as over in Tallahassee. All right, Coop, I really do appreciate. I do have one last thought, Coop.
Yes.
How do you go back to your department? Let's say everything comes out, he's exonerated, right? I'm talking about Dr. Granger.
Right.
How do you go back to your department?
If you're exonerated, and if you're exonerated, you go back working harder than you ever have before. You got to go back at a higher level than he's been able to accomplish a lot of different things for the athletic department at Texas Southern. But now, if you are exonerated of all this, even if it came back to, let's just say that today the young lady decided to drop the case. Okay, what do you do now that you've been exonerated? Okay, it's been proven. Okay, you've got proof now that maybe you were innocent. You didn't do anything wrong, or you were not out of line. So now you come back and you, like I said, you go to another level. You maybe, and then you also become more aware of the things around you, and you don't put yourself in a position where you get caught up in anything like that again. But the main thing, in my opinion, is to go back to work. You've got over 300 young student athletes or students under your belt. There's so many different things you can do. You've been doing a lot of different things. You've been exposing them to different things on trips, traveling, etc. So now, and even maybe have a meeting with your entire athletic department. I'm talking about the students included, and take a moment and just make a statement and let them know what your plans are, and that you've been exonerated, of course, but now it's time to take the program to another level. Let's get more people graduated, and let's win some championships.
There you go.
Yeah,
I know the dynamics within the department will be challenging, as something like this is just like a separation in the household. You got to figure out how to be able to work this awkwardness out, right?
And feed them after you get through talking. Bring in a private chef or something. I'm not talking about feeding them lobster now. Okay, ribeyes. Well,
breaking bread always helps out, right?
Bring in a catering company or something, and feed everybody after you. Don't make it long. I'm talking about long. Don't make your speech long.
Right.
Just get right to the point. You're not taking any questions. You don't have to worry about answering to the media, and you're just giving your students and your coaches a statement in regards to where you are right now and what you expect to win some championships and to graduate more people.
All right. Okay, that's Ralph Cooper. Coop, you put me on the line, I got to put you on the line. Labor Day Classic. Who you got?
Who I got right now?
Who's your favorite?
I understand they're working hard over at Texas Southern, but I understand they're working harder up at Prairie View. Right now, I've got, and I know this can change, but right now I got Prairie View winning in Houston. Coach Jackson in his first game will do what Coach Dishman did in his first game last year: come in and win. And Coach, I see Prairie View winning by 6 or 7 points in this game right now. 6 or 7, and not only that, they'll win the halftime show at Houston. They'll snatch the halftime show, and they're going to win the football game. All on the same. At the same event, the Labor Day Classic 2025.
Yeah.
You'll hear grumbling around 10 o'clock that evening. You'll hear the TSU people grumbling, and you and I won't be able to get out of the stadium without being confronted by some upset TSU fans.
Yeah. Well,
remember that.
That's a possibility. I can envision that right now. Yeah. But also think about this. Bubba McDowell, first-year coach, wins it.
Yeah. So
Chris Dishman, first-year coach, wins it. Could Tremaine Jackson do the same, right?
Well, yeah, the big fella's coming in with a W all on his chest. He's got a big W on the back of his back.
Look,
you look at his head, you may see a W on his head.
Look, Coach Jackson got Coach Dishman singing Atlanta on his mind.
Yeah.
He must be shaking up some things, right?
Yeah. Well, see, and the thing about it is, they're 45 miles away from Houston or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're in private. You don't know who they have up there to play football. They're student athletes. Texas Southern has been bringing in a lot of people here in the last few weeks.
It sure has.
So it's going to be interesting. Who can put that program together quicker? Jackson is in his first year. Dishman had the team last year. He had some people in place, but who can put a team together to be ready to play in that first game?
Well, it was my understanding that Texas Southern had several of their young men already report, and they were on campus last week. There was a photo of those young men in the rain the other morning practicing. So I think what I like this time around, Coop, I like the fact that both of these departments are putting out social media postings to have people more engaged. I think that's really a plus to help them out and help people want to be a part of this. But still, they got to pump up this thing, man. But can they pump it up just with Anton Gauff over in PV being the only AD above, just trying to promote this thing? They're going to have somebody else helping to promote this thing. And look, this could be one of the better Labor Day classics that we've seen in quite a while.
Right. But like I said, don't count the big fella out. He's coming in like he's a combination.
He's coming in hot.
Well, it's coming in like a combination of what? A horse, cart, right? And he's a big man.
Yeah, he's a big man like Cartwright was.
Yeah, horse, cart, right, and Ernie Holmes. He's a combination of the two. Think about it. He's coming in that big. He's a big man. So.
But what I like what he's doing? He's calling himself the King of the Hill.
Well, and you got Dishman over at Texas Southern, and they're in the midst of. They're about to have a football camp on the 20th and 21st.
Yeah,
I'm told.
Yeah,
but in my opinion, I'm still taking Prairie right now to win the game.
Okay, all right.
And the halftime show.
Gonna steal it all.
Snatch all of that, everything.
Right here in H-Town at Shell Energy on August 30th.
Yeah, on a Saturday evening, which should be great.
Let's see if McGinty will approve our credentials. That's all I'm saying. But anyway.
We'll see. We'll be all right. Okay.
We'll have some Frenchies. All right, Coop. I appreciate you. Oh, tell everybody how they can find you on the World Wide Web as well as listening to your radio program.
Well, shortly I'll be back from 6 in the evening also. But right now, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. What's that? KCOH1230.com. KCOH, the source, the internet. KC on the the Simple Radio app, KCOH, and then Ralph Cooper Facebook Live. So you got 4 ways you can pick me up. And if you missed the program during the day, like right now, you can go to KCOH. You can go to Ralph Cooper Facebook Live and catch me right now. Okay? If you want to do that.
Good stuff. And Coop, we just heard the passing of Sly Stone. Did you ever interview him?
Didn't interview him, but I went to his show. He had some great shows in Houston. One that I remember, two that I remember quite well. Lakewood Church. Before it was Lakewood Church. I say before it was Lakewood Church.
It was the Compact Center back then.
Yeah, and the Summit.
And the Summit, right.
Yeah. So he put on a hell of a show there, and then he did a show, if I'm correct, at Hawthorne's Pavilion back in the day. And, one thing about his shows, if you didn't know anything about marijuana, You learned it.
You learned it that night, right?
Yeah, hey man, you learned it, right? I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, and seemingly a free spirit and a genius, I'm
a
told,
genius.
in regard to music. Yeah.
Yeah, he as
So
well as Prince, those two
yeah,
guys, and Hendrix just on another, and as well as Coltrane, just on another
right.
level. All right,
Yeah,
huh?
there's a tape of him. There's a tape of him out there. I'm gonna see if I can find it. And if I do, I'll post it. There's a tape where he and Muhammad Ali were being interviewed. I
Okay.
forgot who it was. It wasn't David Frost, but he and Muhammad Ali were being interviewed on the same program on television one night, and you could tell he was as high as a kite. And Ali Ali was trying to get some points across about blackness and respect. And every time he tried to get a point in, it was like, if you didn't know any better, Sly Stone was the Johnny Cochran was Johnny Cochran for the other for,
For the other side,
for the other side. He went against everything Ali.
Ali probably
He
said,
went
"What is this?
what he did. He said
What's
something
wrong with this
along that
guy?"
line. Hey man, something like, hey man, what's going on with you? Who you with?
Yeah,
But you could
man.
tell he was out of it. He came to stone. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, he was stoned a lot. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
All
gonna see if
right.
I can find it. If I do, I'll send it to you. You're gonna laugh. It's a laughing matter. Okay.
Okay. That
Okay.
is the genius of Ralph Cooper. Thank you,
Thank you.
Coop. Appreciate you guys.
Okay.
We'll be back in a few minutes after a
Thank you.
word from these sponsors. Take care. Here's a bonus track of Coach Tremaine Jackson out of Prairie View A&M talking about his kids getting suits, their presentation, what's been happening on the Hill in PV, as well as what's happening with the NCAA ruling and how it's going to affect the 105 players that are going to be on his roster. Listen in. How was the King of the Hill training and open practices that you had for those young men?
Oh man, it was good. We had over 700 in 2 days.
Wow.
And so it was good. A lot of kids we offered quite a few kids, and then some of the visiting schools offered some kids too. So it was good, man. I think that deal is gonna grow. We added Vick Houston to it, which they've continued to be great partners, man, and just trying to get the best players in Houston on our campus. Some of the other recruiting deals from the state, they were there. So it all in all was a really good deal.
Oh, man. That's exciting, man. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate it.
Ralph Cooper and I were talking about you earlier today, man. He said,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he was like, man, I don't know. You see what Coach Jackson doing out there. I think he's ready to bring some pain right now. So I was like, yeah, I can feel it, man. But hey, look, last year I know Supermart helped Texas Southern's basketball team when they were headed out to the conference championships, and as well as when they went to the NCAA. And it was great to see that they also help you guys out. Or is it something of a new partnership that you guys have established with them?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Coach?
Cal, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So it's not like a partnership like they announced, but every year we will go there and get suits for our guys. Just because I'm a suit believer. Like I believe in you can't tell a kid to wear something you don't provide, right?
Right.
And so on game days, man, I want us to be in suits. I know they did it with Dooley when Dooley was here, and this is Division I football.
Mm-hmm.
Man, our kids deserve to have a Division I experience, and we can't say we care about them after football if we're not helping them with a suit for the interview, making them look more professional than what they are. Some of those guys, man, today was the first time they ever got fitted for a suit.
Wow.
Measured up by the tape. And, some of those guys, it was familiar. But, man, I just sat back and looked at the faces on our kids, and you could tell who had never been in that, who didn't know what their neck size was.
Yeah.
And so that's just a part of us being a real life program, man, like giving them certain experiences. Everybody talks about tying a tie. Well, man, you can go on YouTube and learn how to tie a tie.
Yeah.
You can't go on YouTube and measure yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm really appreciative of those guys at Mark, Gary, and Cynthia, man. We started this, just so you know, and I don't care who you tell, when Texas Southern announced that back in March or April, whenever they said their basketball team was over there.
Right.
I went right to Miss Pete and said, if Texas Southern is doing it for basketball, I want to work with them for football because I know it's larger.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was thanks to Texas Southern for putting that on social media because it lit a fire under me.
Well,
I don't want it to be nothing that they think they can do because they're in the city that we can't do. They had to go to Supermark. Supermark came to Prairie View.
And that was the interesting part. I was like, man, that's in the big room there. I was like, and Supermark was there. And look, Gary's been around for many years. He outfitted me for so many suits.
Yeah,
so,
I'm telling you.
But it was great to see that, man. And you bring up a great point. Remember Coach Prime when he got to Jackson State? That's what his philosophy, of course, look good, play good, right?
Yep,
then when he had that partnership with Michael Strahan, and then I think Grambling did it, then Florida A&M did it, and I'm glad that you guys are doing it as well because, hey, we do take for granted that a lot of young men know what suits are, how to tie a tie. They just don't, right?
Man, and these people are giving us a 3-piece suit with a vest.
Oh, wow. Looking good.
Shirt, tie.
Yeah.
I mean, we fresh off the mannequin, man.
What color did you guys go with?
We got a charcoal gray.
Okay.
Because I wanted to give our guys something else that can go with purple. Everybody gets a black suit. And everything in a funeral. So I wanted to get a charcoal gray, man, a dark color that was still interview ready. And the one good thing that we're doing is we're not putting a Prairie View patch on the left side like we had done before.
Okay.
It is their suit. It's a neutral suit. Man, when these dudes get ready to get out into corporate America, they at least got one suit that they can wear and go get that job, man. So we can have alums with money that actually want to give back because they had a good experience.
Man, that's awesome. Man,
Yeah,
Coach,
so,
I'm glad you did that for the kids, man.
No, we're excited about it, man. It wasn't just me. Man, our AD, Auxiliary Services, helped us out. Our AD was on board with it. Again, doing what we say we were going to do, Kyle. I know I'm loud and I'm out there on social media, but we stood in that same room at the press conference and said, here's what we're going to do.
You did.
And so from a grade standpoint, from a community standpoint, from a building young men standpoint, man, we're hitting all those areas. Some areas we hitting a little faster than what I thought.
Yeah. In what areas are those?
Just the team GPA.
Okay.
To have the 3.0 this early,
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't had a 3.0 team GPA for a semester. Can't nobody tell me if we ever had one, right? And so for me to hit that mark early on in our first 5 months of being here, it wasn't shocking. It was just like, okay, these kids are doing what we asked them to do. And here's the other thing that people don't know about their GPA.
What's that?
Half those kids aren't even here anymore.
Wow. Is it because they left the program to go elsewhere or they didn't make it or a combination of all?
Them, yeah, a combination of all, but mostly the kids that we had in the spring, we moved about half of them on ourselves.
Okay.
Well, we did that right after spring ball. They still had 3 or 4 weeks left, and they still finished school strong.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so it wasn't personal. Either you can or cannot play for us. We told them we was going to tell them the truth, and I think they appreciated being told the truth. And we've even helped some of them find somewhere else to go.
Well, that's good. You guys stayed with them through the whole process.
Mm-hmm. Some of and we choose to be brutally honest with our guys. Hey, man, here's what we see. You're gonna be a backup. Da 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 da. Well, some guys want to go start. Well, there's places they can go start. It's not that they're bad football players. It just didn't fit what we had going on. and it was a real good split, as good as it can be. We didn't have any disgruntled splits.
Okay. Well, and that's
And,
important. You don't want these guys
yeah.
having a bad taste in their mouth, you know.
Well, and a lot of
Sometimes.
them have degrees from Prairie. So there's probably about 12 of them that got their degree
Wow.
and then moved on.
Okay.
And so you don't want disgruntled alums, man. You don't want to put them out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think the guys, everybody in our building has always understood where we're trying to go and where they fit in the grand scheme of things. And I think the GPA deal kind of confirmed some things early for me. Man, in spite of these guys getting cut or moving on, being told that they're not going to play much, they still academically finish strong. And there's one lady, Miss Moore, Dondria Moore, our academic person for football, she makes it go.
Wow.
And so she just needed some support.
But, you know, one thing I also noticed in looking at some of the photos and the videos, those kids are engaged.
Yep.
And focused.
Yep.
Everything that you guys are saying and putting into them, they're hinging on every word. So I like that, Coach.
Well, I don't know if we can play football, but I know we're going to have a football team. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be a team when we walk out there.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens when we get on the grass, but I like our chances.
Gotcha.
Just about, I mean, we got 103 kids here right now. The limit is 105. And so our team is here, which we had never done this in the first session at Prairie View.
Wow.
So again, our AD, man, you know, living up to where our president backing him up. And we're trying to play college football here. And we're going to get that done. So it's a lot of new right now. But we got a lot of support, a lot of people on our side. We just, like I told the team today, man, y'all just got to go play.
Yeah.
You got to do well in summer school and then go play.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yep.
I saw all the press about the NCAA settlement with Congress and the judge approved. The new rosters, you just spoke about the 103 out of 105 that are laudable for the scholarships. Is that correct?
Yep.
How do you feel that has changed how you view putting a roster together?
Yeah, well, for me, it hadn't changed anything because this is what we did in Division II.
Okay.
Like the way we go about it now, the people that are in the frenzy are the people that don't have any lower level football experience. Because we've always had to manage a roster with very little money, right? I think when you cut down to 105, though, you got to really distribute your numbers at each position in a good way. Like, you got to have enough receivers. You got to have enough O linemen, enough DBs, enough D linemen. You got to really look at that position, those positions with a fine-tooth comb, and then be disciplined and not budge on it. All right, we said we're taking 14 receivers. Let's not take 12 because we took 4 tight ends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, be disciplined to what you say so you can have the depth that you need. And I've been very proud of our staff because we've all held each other accountable on making sure we got to the number we needed to get to.
Now, let me ask you this, Coach. Getting to that number, and you talked about this, would that let's say you have a tight end or you have a tweener here or there. Would that help you guys make a decision on let's keep this guy because he can be flexible in playing 2 different positions?
Yeah, the more you can do, the more valuable you are. Right? So we have some of those kids. It's funny you mentioned tight end receiver because we have a kid like that. That is a tight end receiver, can be in the backfield, which allows us to have a lesser tight end room to go get more receivers.
Okay.
Now, in the coming years, might not have that kid, might have to go get 4 tight ends instead of 3.
Okay.
But right now, we've got the luxury of dealing with that kid and what he can do. And so it's the more versatile, the more valuable. That's for sure.
I remember when I used to cover the Saints, that's what Sean Payton's philosophy was. Hey, if you can give me, you can play special teams, you can play a couple different spots on my offense, I'm gonna look at you a little bit differently.
Yep. Yeah.
So I got you.
No, it definitely makes you valuable, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Anything makes you valuable in this new realm that we're in, man. It's going to be interesting how this deal plays out, especially amongst our conference. June 15th, everybody has to determine whether they opting in, opting out. So I'm eager to see who's opting in, opting out.
Yeah.
We're opting in. We've always stood on the forefront. Our AD has always said that. So, it's just kind of where the league goes from here. I think things are going to be really interesting here in the next coming months and a year or two.
Yeah. Just being able to figure your way out, not only with the NIL, because having those guys on your program, meaning you commit to those guys throughout their staying with Prairie View. Is that how I read that correctly?
Yeah. I mean, right now, the rule is already, if you sign a transfer, you can't cut him.
Really?
Unless he quits, right? Like you stuck with that guy on scholarship until he graduates, whether it be a master's or undergrad. So that part of it is already there. What opting in does is allows you to revenue share with those kids. And so in order to share revenue, you got to create revenue. and so that's the part that we're at right now. Like how are we creating our revenue, which I think we've got a solid plan on being able to do that.
Are you doing it through just collectives, or you also have a sponsorship?
It's a combination of everything. It's fundraising. It's having a line item in the budget. It's being able to say, okay, instead of going to X, Y, and Z, let's stick with the home game. The in-state guarantee games where we ain't got to get on a plane and waste $90,000. We can put that $90,000 into the revenue share. And so really being creative from that standpoint, game guarantees, trying to get bigger game guarantees to cover some of that fluff. And then really just the university stepping up to the plate and saying, all right, instead of putting this money in the library, we're going to truly invest in athletics. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to hear.
Yeah, look, man, and that brings a point to a lot what they were saying about the old presidents. They just didn't have that focus on what they can do to help athletics and bolster athletics in the SWAC. And that's a great point. I didn't know.
And let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
No vision.
No vision.
No vision for athletics because you're an academic person, which is fine. But here's what I learned at the national championship game, man. I got a lot of respect for the Ferris State president because you would not know where Ferris State University was in Michigan if it wasn't for their football team. And he stood at the press conference and said, we decided 10 years ago to go all in on football because if we go all in on football and people know who we are, we can then feature our science program, our criminal justice program. But as long as we up here talking about academics and don't nobody know what we are, nobody cares about those programs.
Right.
And so I think more university presidents need to have that mindset about athletics in general. Prairie View A&M is known for engineering. It's known for architecture. It's known for these things. But we're really fading from that standpoint.
Right.
But I guarantee you if we go win the Celebration Bowl, then people are going to start going, man, they got really good education.
Yeah. And you bring up it's just a trickle-down effect that people understand. If you have a prominent football or sports program, athletics program, the recruitment goes up, the recognition, because young people recognize what you're doing and want to be a part of it.
That's it. And so then when we start winning, and then you add the pageantry of being at Prairie View A&M and the good time that's happening along with being close to Houston, we'll be busting out the seams.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this in Valdosta with FAMU, where they had to put kids in the hotel because they didn't have enough housing after they won the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah.
And so the same thing is going to happen because of our president and our athletic director. Like they have a forward vision. But Prairie View's probably 10 years behind because Ruth did that.
Mm. Well, fortunately, you have Dr. LeGrand right there to help you. Yeah, man.
She on point, man. And Dr. LeGrand, one of the smartest women I know.
Yeah. She's very, very intelligent. I was at the PV graduation and was proud to see a number of the athletes graduating summa cum laude or cum laude, magna cum laude. Just briefly talk about that. Were you there, and how pleased were you to see that?
Yeah, so I got a standing rule, Kyle. I don't go to graduations.
Oh, really?
I just make sure you can go. That's what I tell the guys. I don't go to your graduation. Your graduation is for your family. Okay. I don't need to be the coach, taking pictures, that ain't for me. Okay. I'm just here to make sure you're able to actually go.
All right.
And so I tell them that every January, every August, right? Hey, man, I ain't taking no pictures at your graduation. We don't need all that. You'll tell everybody you graduated. And so, but I was, when I got the sheet from Miss Moore, I was very proud of our guys, the ones that we coached and the ones we didn't coach, for getting their degrees at a high level.
Yeah.
And man, it's always good to see young people graduating from a prestigious school like Prairie View A&M, but most of all, man, just graduating.
Man. Yeah.
You playing all these 4 years of ball, and I always tell our guys, if you play for us and we win the Celebration Bowl and I get a raise and all this money and you don't get nothing from the deal, that makes you a prostitute. And I ain't no pimp.
Yeah.
And so, man, we're here to make sure that they're able to do that. We expect that number to grow at a higher level. We expect that number. We expect more magna cum laude and summa cum laude because we got those type of people. And so definitely a great start for us to see. But a lot of that stuff was done, man, before I even got here. And I think that's credit to our academic advisor, Dondra Moore, because she handles football by herself.
Yeah.
And man, she's got a beat on every one of our kids, personally and academically. And so it's a pleasure. I walked into a really good situation there because at Valdosta State, I was the advisor. My staff was holding study hall. And so to walk in when people on the same page was awesome.
Well, that's good. Well, Coach, man, keep up the great work. I
appreciate you.
Man, I'm really pleased and proud of you, man. Just watching from afar. Cooper put me out there on blast in front of everybody on Facebook. He said, this young man, he had put my face out there, had Prairie View as the winner of the Labor Day Classics. Oh, man. And Coop know, and we both media, and I had to put him back on blast today on my program. So, as well. But the good thing is, man, we see some great things coming out of your program. I know it's going to be a challenging Labor Day Classic for y'all.
Absolutely.
But that's what makes it fun, right?
Yep. That's why we came.
There you go.
That's why we came.
You go.
Appreciate you, Kyle, man, and everything you do for us.
Hey, Coach, hit me up anytime you need me. Anything that may be out there in Houston that we need to cover that may not be out, officially on the map, but if we can sneak in and be able to see and bring some cameras out there, just let me know. Okay?
Man, here's something to put on your radar, and I don't know if you saw this. Wednesday, Vick Houston is coming to do their Houston High School Media Day for the football season at our stadium.
This Wednesday?
Take pictures for their magazine. Yeah. Starting at about 9 a.m., they'll be out there. And they're going to have every school in the greater Houston area at our place taking pictures.
Really?
Man, it is probably – we're going to have every top prospect from the city on campus. And so for them to see our facilities, I think it's a really big deal because it's never happened at Prairie View A&M or TSU. And Vick Houston, you're talking about somebody with 100,000 followers and put out a magazine. And we've been able to form a really good relationship there. Matt Malatesta, he does a really good job. So that's something that you'll start seeing. I retweeted his deal that talking about the media day that they're doing. And it's an all-day affair on Wednesday, man. I think it starts at 9 and ends at 6 or 7 p.m. So
that's
it's
tomorrow?
a really big deal.
I mean, that's Wednesday. Okay, so
yeah, this Wednesday.
And it starts at 9. Do these young men have to be invited, or media has to be invited?
Well,
or
they're invited by Vick Houston. I'm not sure what the media policy is. I could get you in touch with Matt on that, but man, I just think from an exposure standpoint, we got a lot of flack by not hosting a high school football game. And we've gotten those things corrected. AD Golf we're more than willing to do that. But to have every kid from our city on our campus in one day is a really big – nobody else can say that they can do that.
That's huge, man. Like you say, for its recruitment, to see the beauty of the campus, that great stadium, and being able to talk to you guys as well, that's valuable for the program. I like it.
Absolutely. So we'll be around, man, but I wanted to let you know that was going on. You'll start seeing a little bit more.
Okay, thank you, Coop, for joining us. And guys, we're about to wrap up the show. We got to send our prayers to Alabama State. They just lost their assistant band director, and that's a tough thing to be able to lose somebody, especially somebody so important to your programs there at Alabama State. So Charles Grissom III. So prayers to you and your family. The SWAC also lost Eddie Kelly, the top official who coordinates all the officials for the conference. They're replacing him on an interim basis with veteran official Hubert Owens, who his father was one of the legendary officials of the SWAC as well. So he's going to step in. Howard University promoted Kerry Davis as the Vice President of Athletics. Congratulations to you. And the HBCU Go has been selected as the inaugural Las Vegas HBCU Classic broadcast and streaming partner. Wow. HBCU legend Mr. Armstead, Tyron Armstead. Now, kind of sad to even talk about it because he was such a major part of me covering the New Orleans Saints. He's officially retired from the National Football League now. Quincy Avery, a Morehouse brother. We call him the quarterback whisperer. Go online, check out my interview with him. The Quincy Avery Effect is on Hulu. You can be able to watch that documentary. The man has gone from HBCU football, HBCU college, homeless, now one of the top quarterback trainers in the history of the league. Congratulations to Urban Edge Network. They're now the stream partner for the NIA, the Heart of America Conference, and they also are doing some great things out there with other conferences, and expect to have some more big time news coming out of them. Tuskegee is going to have their first HBCU football night program. Wow. All these years, that program, over 100 years, I believe, the program has been in existence. It's hosting its first ever night game. They installed the lights at Tuskegee, and it's going to be great. HBCU football will kick off the 2025 season in epic form as a prime showdown between Southern University and North Carolina Central at the MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff, brought to you guys by Cricket. And we got the announcement of the Celebration Bowl. The Celebration Bowl will be on ABC once again, and those guys hope to score big with viewership. Talking to John Grant, he believes that this year is going to be big for the kickoff as well as Celebration Bowl. And don't forget, the Rear Tail Classic at Tuskegee is going to be a part of the ESPN events programming, and that will be on ESPNU when they host Winston-Salem at Tuskegee. All right, guys, I hope all of your minds and your hearts are satisfied with what we're bringing to you guys. Jackson State head coach T.C. Taylor was recognized as the Coach of the Year and Team of the Year at the Black College Football Hall of Fame ceremony. And Ashley Robinson, he has been recognized by all of the ADs as the Athletic Director of the Year for the second time. So congratulations to you, AD Gauff. You also was HBCU Legends AD of the Year for 2024. All right, guys, let's have a great one. Don't forget, go to HBCU Legends to follow us on all of the social media platforms. You can also follow us at hbclegends.net, and it will take you directly to our HBCU Legends site on SI. I'm Kyle T. Mosley, and you can follow me at KTMOZE on all social media platforms. You guys have a great one, and we'll be back to drop some more nuggets on you next week. Take care.
America's energy future begins now. We have the opportunity to strengthen our economy and reduce inflation. And with this opportunity comes great responsibility. Working together, we can harness our energy advantage and improve the lives of every American. More American energy means more jobs, more security, and more innovation. That's the promise of America's oil and natural gas. America's moment is now. Learn more at lightsonenergy.org. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.